We are right around the New Year's point of the NBA season right now, and being around 30 games into the season, we have seen a lot of surprises so far. Teams like the Bucks, Celtics, Nuggets are all atop of their conferences as predicted, but we have also seen record-breaking losing streaks, super teams being more up and down than a roller coaster, and trades that looked terrible at the time but are finally paying off. So in this video, we're going to be going over the 3 biggest surprises of the 2023-24 NBA season so far. Cue the intro. The Detroit Pistons record-setting losing streak. The Detroit Pistons once again are the worst team in the NBA. And yes, they'll most likely get another top 3, top 5 draft pick the following season, but that's not what the Pistons were aiming for. Heading into this season, the Pistons acquired one of the top head coaches in the NBA, Monty Williams, signing him to a huge 6-year, $78.5 million contract, only trailing Greg Popovich as the highest paid coach in the entire NBA. But Monty Williams is a hell of a coach, as he led the Suns to the finals in 2021, plus a 64-win season in 2022. But when the Pistons signed Monty Williams, the last thing they expected was to start the season 2-29, with an NBA record 28-game losing streak. They got the number 1 pick of the 2021 NBA draft, Cade Cunningham, who has been balling, but they also got 2 number 2 picks in Bagley and James Wiseman, who both look like they'll be out of the league any minute. They got one of the best looking rookies this season in Asar Thompson, whose minutes are more inconsistent than your old iPhone's battery life. This team's roster doesn't even look that bad, especially when you compare it to the other teams that went on a losing streak like them. The Cavs lost 26 games in a row in 2011 after LeBron left to Miami, and the same with the 76ers during their trust the process phase in 2014. This Pistons roster on paper is way better than those two teams. Hell, even the 2012 Charlotte Bobcats, who went 7-59 in the shortened season. This Pistons roster looks 10 times better than theirs. They literally got the number 1 pick from 2021 in Cade Cunningham, who's having his best season so far, putting up 23 points per game. But this losing streak for the Pistons has already gone down in history, as it's currently the biggest single season losing streak in NBA history at 28, but better start looking forward to next season, Pistons fans, because their season is all but over, not even halfway through the season. The Minnesota Timberwolves being first in the Western Conference. If you started following the NBA over the past 15 years, you probably never saw the Timberwolves or Pistons, sorry Pistons fans, have a good season in your lifetime. But this year for the Timberwolves is looking different. They are currently sitting atop of the Western Conference with a 23-7 record, and they have kept that first seed on lock for several weeks so far. Over the past few years though, we have seen this multiple times, as we saw with the Pelicans last year, the Bulls in 2022 before Lonzo got hurt. But what makes this year different for the Timberwolves? They had a very similar roster to last year, in which they finished 8th in the West, but so far this season, the Timberwolves have been playing elite defense, ranking number 1 in the league in defensive rating. And they have had little to no injuries this year so far, especially when you compare them to last year, where Cat missed most of the season with an injury. Anthony Edwards has also taken his game to the next level, averaging 25 points per game, and is bound to make his second All-Star appearance. And let's give our props to Rudy Gobert. Everyone, including me, thought the Gobert trade the Wolves made with the Jazz last year was one of the worst in NBA history. But Gobert is the heart and soul of the Timberwolves defense, as he's a big part in the Wolves being the best defensive team in the league right now, ranking 1st in defensive rating. And he can well be on his way to earn his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award, something only Ben Wallace and Dikembe Mutombo have achieved in NBA history. They also got one of the most underrated vets in the league, Mike Conley, who's playing in his 17th season at 36 years old, and he's shooting a mind-blowing 46% from deep and 95% from the free throw line. The Timberwolves got one of the most talented and exciting rosters in the league, and let's see how they finish off the season, because they're definitely going to be a playoff team to keep your eyes on. And our last surprise of the 2023-24 NBA season so far goes to the Philadelphia 76ers succeeding after trading away James Harden. The 76ers at the beginning of training camp this season were looking like a complete mess. After a massive collapse against the Celtics in the playoffs last year, the 76ers had a long offseason, with a little bit of drama including James Harden and Daryl Morey. This was all over NBA news at the beginning of the season, but when Harden finally got shipped to the LA Clippers, nobody thought the Sixers would be playing the way they are right now, especially for what they got in return. The Sixers currently sit 3rd in the Eastern Conference with a 22-9 record, and their duo of Embiid and Maxey is looking really nice. They are both having career years, with Maxey averaging 26 points and 6 assists per game, and the reigning MVP, Joel Embiid, who is having an even better season this year than he did last year, putting up a league-leading 35 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. And on the other side of the trade, the Los Angeles Clippers lost the first 6 games they played after acquiring James Harden, which was a huge shock, and even got other teams' reporters talking smack about him for 2 minutes straight. But Harden and the Clippers bounced back, winning 15 of their next 20 games and are now comfortably sitting in a playoff spot in the West. But back to the Sixers. Nobody thought going into this season that the Sixers would be a top seed in the East, only trailing behind the Bucks and Celtics, who are the clear 1 and 2 in the conference. But the Sixers got Maxey, who's bound to make his first All-Star appearance this year, and Joel, who a lot of people weren't happy with him winning MVP last year, but if he can keep these numbers up and keep on winning games like how they are right now, Joel Embiid may be on his way to his 2nd straight MVP award. Thank you guys if you made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content just like this one, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for new videos every week. And leave a comment on this video on anything else that surprised you this year in the NBA so far. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.